So now he's trying to make out, right, that he's giving some case study examples here, right, of where like members of the House of Lords have been arrested and so forth, like Lord Hanningfield was, but eventually he'd end up getting his privileges claimed later on, right? So this is the thing, right? So he's referring to clerks of parliament because, like, you know, if MPs get arrested, they might ask for help, assistance, or intervention, like from parliament, right, to back them up, like, you know, from the speaker or the clerks, right, or the staff. Now, this is the thing. So in that book from the 1628, which I actually think that book was William Prynne's book, but you know that's yet to be proved. But that book has got the form of writ. So the acts of law, the legislation, that is law, right? That's British law, right? It is British law. So if there's a police prosecution or a case or investigation, right, during the sessions of Parliament, the law has to be applied, and the 1770 Act is still in effect. Now, the MP, the Member of Parliament, right, if they are a Member of Parliament, obviously, if you're an MP, you've got articles, documents to prove that you're an MP, right? You enforce the law. Now, you claim the right yourself, right, with a writ. So you would write the writ yourself. And you've got the authority to write a writ as the MP. So you've got an office in Parliament. You are an MP. So when you write letters from the MP, it's from Parliament. So you've got like the legal right to write a letterhead with the seal of Parliament. It's a parliamentary paper. Now, it's not an order by the Speaker, but it's from an MP, right? So, because they're a Member of Parliament, right, and they can issue documents from, you know, the title MP, right? You bear the title MP, right? And when you write a letterhead, it's from Parliament. So if you're arrested or prosecuted, you write the letter, including one to release you. You can't be arrested if it's during a session of Parliament, right? You can't be arrested. Now, they could prosecute some offences, but now they've abolished felonies officially. That's the only type that was identified to be allowed, right? Felony. It's a particular type of offence, like a serious one, right? You know, like treason or whatever. But it's only for the duration because you're acting on behalf of the people who have elected you. It's not about you, it's about the people who's elected the person, right? And they get prosecuted, and the police can prosecute them at the end of the session, right? That's when it takes place, and that's when they can be arrested. So that's it, effectively. And, you know, Jack's going on about all these EU rights, all these European Union rights, and, you know, the Human Rights Act and so forth. The person gets their prosecution at the end of the session, or the victim gets their justice at the end of the session, right? You know, what about the rights of the electors who have elected someone? It's fully comparable. It's all comparable. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. And even legal cases come to these verdicts when it comes to defamation. They've said, like, you know, the needs of the many benefit to the public outweighs the rest of it. It's a principle of law. The very basis of law itself and judgments in courts is on that principle when they're judging them themselves. But then they're saying courts might need to use EU to give people their rights. Well, courts come to those decisions in normal cases anyway. It's all fully comparable anyway. And I really don't. And what about the rights of the MP? You know, the needs are already summed up in normal law anyway. When they create these things, I just really don't know what Jack's grappling at. It's, as far as I'm concerned, it's complete procrastination. It's like eccentrics who love subjects who just like talking about them, and they superimpose their opinion. And really, what Jack's doing is he's having his own little debate. What Jack's doing is he's having his own little debate and fantasizing that he's an MP and he's got freedom of speech and he can say what he wants. Yet what he's saying are lies in some of these chapters and paragraphs. He's actually lying, or he's in grievous error. And he might actually claim privilege. He might claim privilege for this book, that that's a matter for Parliament. But he's at a contempt of Parliament. It's definitely not a petition, that's for sure. So I think Jack's getting, he's got, there are some actually good things in this book that teach you something, but generally it's only his opinion and commentary on things we already know. And it's not like he's not teaching you or learning you about the law in history. What he's doing is he's giving you his own opinion and version of it. And the best thing to do is actually read the law, read the acts of law, read the events in history, read the past and previous decisions made, and then find out, what they're doing now, and then, come to your own conclusions. Now, he's saying grapple with it, but blatantly lying, misleading people is a different thing. And I don't think that he can't not be intelligent enough to know the implications of those acts of law. So what he is, it's almost like, if you've got like a group of people and there's, for example, some women, and one of them tells them something and she goes, oh, Mrs. Dawson, can you believe that? That can't be the truth, can it? Can you believe that? Well, I really don't agree with that. I don't think that, do you? And maybe she agrees with me, doesn't she? We don't think that's a fact or truth, do we? They're like women like that. What Jack and Gordon are doing, they're effectively being like a couple of old ladies who really don't approve of something, yet it is the fact and truth, even though Malcolm Jack's coming out with these comments and statements like, a privilege that can't be abused is no privilege at all, right? Yeah, well, that's what he's doing. But he's not even using privilege in this book because it's not a petition. And he's the Constitution Society, he's not Parliament. I mean, is he petitioning the public with this? I think that he's got lies in it, and that one thing I don't like is people who bullshit, I mean, you draw from fact, truth, and reason, and this, although he's introducing some interesting information, and also he's got things that I didn't know in here, which are useful information, he's still lying, and I think that it's contagious. It's contagious lies, which like a dis-ease, and you need to cut through it with the truth, And Parliament even had a jargon busting project, but they're the one. But it's people, it's members and staff who come out with the most jargon,